The 10-Minute Talent Rant is live. I'm James Hornick, joined by Jeff Smith, and we are on the clock. The 10-Minute Talent Rant is our ongoing series where we break down things that are broken in the talent acquisition hiring space, maybe even pitch a solution or two. Before we dig in, all of our content can be found on talentinsights.hirewell.com. This week's topic, are you ready, Jeff?
Yes.
Episode 13, AI hiring takes get stale fast.
It's insane.
Yeah.
These takes about AI specific to our industry, I feel like they evolve so fast that literally what we were discussing, we just had an AI episode. It's like half of it's obsolete.
Well, what's funny is that I think that for the longest time, we were like, we didn't want to talk about AI because we felt like everyone was doing it. And then we're like, I guess we should finally put our toe in the water here. But yeah. So it's funny because I asked ChatGPT to make me a list of jobs that AI will create. So in my mind, like net new jobs, what new things are going to come out that AI will create. So it gave me, this is only a part of the list, but here's what it spit out. AI engineer, regulatory analyst for AI, data analyst AI focused, prompt engineer, AI interaction designer, AI product manager, AI ethicist, and like a dozen more like that. What'd you notice on that list there, Jeff?
So, jobs that already exist, fam.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not the ethicist, but look, we know that
no one's spending money on that shit. No one's actually going to hire an ethicist.
Anybody's spending money on. So,
yeah. So what I had was I heard someone talking about, because someone tried to make a take that like, well, yeah, it's going to create more, because they were saying, well, construction jobs for data centers and like nuclear power and like, you know, those things are real. But I'm like, what? I really couldn't think of anything else. Those are like, I had nothing else to add on except how many more power plants we really need, and how many, or just people who make this, like if they're building data centers, they were surely building something else before. You know what I mean? They're going to stop building houses most likely. So.
Yeah, we're gonna have to maybe miners to find more energy for all the consumption that's gonna happen. I thought this was interesting. We had sourced a blog. It was called "We Realized Our Business Model is Now Obsolete." And this was crazy. A company found that in a blind test, patients rated AI therapy and therapists as more empathetic and responsive than human therapists. And the realization, which will get to the meat of all of this, is their business model, which in this particular use case, charging for human empathy, literally, like that's what's being monetized, was now obsolete. And then you kind of step away, and the broader takeaway is that, you know, these things that we assume are uniquely human, like empathy and judgment and altruism and all that stuff, go real dystopian, it might not be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the crazy takeaway. If AI can outperform humans in those like soft areas, a lot of business models are at risk. And the company's key learning is you can't just adjust. You have to like actually reinvent everything. So we're going to go through a few things to consider in all this.
Yeah. And also, before we even do that, I wanted to mention, like, that's why sociopaths have success. They don't have any human empathy. They just pretend like they do. Just like the computers.
This answers the whole, like, nice guys finish last. Right?
Our AI sociopath. Anyway. All right. So first, hiring takes getting stale fast. You've probably heard this one. AI won't replace, name your job title, but that person with AI will. So, like, AI won't replace software engineers, but a software engineer using AI will, or a recruiter or a salesperson or whatever. It's all nonsense.
Yeah, I might veer a little bit from you on it, but I agree. Like, if we're doing the blanket, it's nonsense. Last week, Kalshi aired this ad on the NBA Finals that was like the whole marketing scheme was that it was entirely created by AI. And we actually used some of that for our content advantage, but
absolute banger. And it cost them $2,000.
Yeah. And you'll say, see, like, a video producer using AI did replace an actual video producer not using AI. But if you take a step back, pull the curtain back, you're missing the context of like that it literally, undoubtedly just cut dozens of people. Like, it's literally taking away jobs, editing, production, the boom mic guy, like all that stuff.
Yeah. And you have to, And there's another example too. This is something that came out, I think, like in January, because you have to take into account when you're eliminating those jobs, it's potentially going to impact like how much you can charge. So I think it was the Goldman Sachs CEO said AI can draft 95% of an IPO prospectus in minutes. So do we really think like market forces of supply and demand? Do we really think someone who creates those drafts is going to get paid the same for doing only 5% of the work? Or do we really think we need 95% of the people who do that work? I mean, you can't have it both ways where these things are going to kind of keep going. Like it's just not tenable that we will need the same number of people. And just because you're using AI doesn't mean like it's not the person that replaced you. It is the AI that replaced you.
Yeah, we'll wait till we get to the dumbing down of all product and services later in this chat. Like that's part of it. Internally here at Hirewell, we said the same thing. AI won't replace recruiters. Recruiters using AI will. And we still believe that's true. But even that, 3 weeks ago, we feel like it's outdated. The reality is kind of shifting from AI as this assistive tool. Like this will help me organize my day better, to a literal full rebuilding of all fundamental workflows. It's not about humans using the tools to speed themselves up. It's about humans being replaced by fully automated processing that eliminates the need for any of those tasks altogether.
And I think that was the fundamental misunderstanding about a lot of things with AI. People, when they first used ChatGPT, they just saw it as another toy they can play with. But yes, that AI tool will make you more efficient. But if you can stitch together multiple tools, you've probably heard people talking about agents, but no one really knows what's an AI agent really. The people who make these things do. But like the average person, it's just like, I don't know. But if you can actually take the entire workflow of how you go about your day and replace that with AI, you have become literally redundant. And the only thing that could potentially save you, and I want to kind of pivot to the next part of this conversation, is like attention to detail and a higher quality product. But here's the problem. I don't think anyone cares about quality nearly as much as everyone says they do.
No, the consumer behavioral model, like it validates this exactly, which is kind of scary. But bottom line, we're getting used to shittier service since the pandemic. Everyone complains about it.
Not even just AI. Like, take it back from last 10 years. Everything's gotten worse. Sorry.
Yeah. Customer service is worse. We go out to eat. We all complain that, like, service is slower, yada, yada, yada. There's fast fashion. We buy something, we don't like it, we buy the next thing on Amazon. There's a prevailing sense that artificial intelligence will do more work, so we'll have more time to make things better. Maybe they're shittier things, though. That's the problem. And that's part of the logic behind why people think jobs won't get lost. And we just disagree fundamentally. As humans, we get more and more used to that. It's been proven over the last 10 years. We get used to lower and lower quality because access to it becomes intrinsically easier. All I have to say is Amazon. There's the use case.
Yeah. Well, taking it back to like business realm, what happened to your inbox is going to be what happens everywhere. Like poorly customized clutter, and eventually no one's going to care. Like I write a lot. I've been published before. I have friends ask me like, how do you find time to write your LinkedIn post, or when do you do this? I'm like, I don't know, man. I just sit down and do it 45 minutes before I hit send. I've gotten good at it. I've always had a done is better than perfect mindset. I know fully well whenever I send something, it's probably 90% of what it could be, but it's not worth my time to spend 10x the amount of time to get that extra 10% better. Yeah. I kind of take that as like it's a LinkedIn post. It's not that important. It's like the least important thing that I kind of spend any time on. But I think the problem is when you take more and more important things that are happening in the business world, things you put in front of clients, proposals.
The prospectus thing is a perfect example.
Prospectuses. Yeah, there's so many things that actually matter more because they're supposed to be white glove touch items. That when you're having AI do this, like I think it's going to become done is better than mediocre. Like here's what AI and people have in common. There's a reason why I say this. AI and people both suck at attention to detail. Like you can't say that we'll have more time to do things because AI is going to do the work. Not when those things are paying more time proofreading. Because like I care about putting out stuff professionally that isn't crap. But even I find proofreading to be the most boring fucking thing in the world. It's not like everyone's going to have AI do all their work to give them extra time to double and triple check it. We just know that's not going to actually happen.
And you saying that you are exponentially more detail oriented than me, and you're saying it. So if you go down the ladder, it gets way worse.
And the amount of proofreading you need to do, double checking the work for anything AI creates is insane. The worst job in the world is the person who has to proofread that IPO prospectus. It's probably hundreds of pages. I would gouge my eyes out. People are going to half-ass that job. It's just not something anyone's going to want to do.
We're going through it right now. I won't believe it, but we're going through this right now with some of our internal processes. It's great, but we're still doing these proofread sessions to make sure that it doesn't sound like a ghost wrote it. Someone's got to go through this stuff. Proposals, job descriptions, performance reviews. Another great example. Customer support articles, contracts, etc. What happened with your inbox will basically happen to everything, like you said. So, thirdly, our real world experience. What have we had happen here?
So here's our last month or so internally. So Brian, our head of marketing, is fantastic. He's actually built some software. He's built some end-to-end modeling of how we can redo parts of the recruiting process. He's actually tied multiple systems together. Now, here's the thing. He's not an engineer. He's helped create websites before. He's got a good project management background. But he was able to do this stuff in 24 hours using AI tools like this. He's probably everyone needs kind of people like this. And I think that's having people with an engineering mindset, with a curiosity to use AI tools, not just how they can make their own workflow better, but how they can change an entire workflow to automate processes in an organization, is really what everyone needs to be kind of thinking about. I don't think that many people out there really do. I think most companies are focused on the wrong things. They're focused on how can we train our team to use AI tools, or which tools should we adopt. But the better thing they should be asking is how do we actually make this so it's not dependent on individual users becoming more efficient? How do we make it so we actually automate an entire process or workflow or their entire job description or whatever you want to call it for them?
Yeah, I think your point is well founded. This skill set is rare. People who can drive AI transformation it's a small pool of individuals. Here at Hirewell, there might be 5, maybe less people like Brian that can really analyze this stuff and do what he did. And it's not that others can't learn it. It's, going back to the point, it's that most just don't want to. And then to double down on it, most organizations can't even identify who can.
Yeah. So 2 sides of this now, again, still. I don't think that many people with that mindset exist. But 2, I think that organizations that do identify people like that and realize here's what we want to do, taking this back to hiring, they're going to do everything in their power to not hire anybody.
Yes.
To first see if they can actually automate their entire organization with AI and automated processes.
Yeah, it's going to get way worse before it gets better, for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, final thoughts. What do you got, Jeff?
Yeah. The biggest impact of all of this won't be a tool or feature. It's going to be that business model disruption. The winners are going to be companies, folks who can redesign how the work happens, not just simply who can use AI to make their current jobs marginally faster. For hiring, it means prioritizing adaptability, experimentation, systems thinking, and it also means accepting that some jobs and entire businesses won't survive this.
Yeah. My final thought, again, just repeating myself here, I think we're really headed towards an era of more and more things that we see out of companies being more and more mediocre in every aspect.
Please, God, don't make idiocracy a thing, an actual thing.
I could be proven wrong in a very short amount of time because, as we said, our takes on AI keep changing. Anyways, we are short on clock. That's a wrap for this week. Thanks for tuning in to the 10-Minute Talent Rant, part of the Talent Insights series, which is always available for replay on talentinsights.hirewall.com, as well as YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon. Jeff, thanks again as always. Everyone out there, we'll see you soon.